Hey everybody, I hope you're doing as well as you can be, and thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Today I'd like to talk about the concept of having an enemy. And with everything going on in the world, all of the conflicts, the front and center right now, as I'm recording this, being what's happening in Palestine, I recently talked about what it means to me to be anti-war. And today I wanted to get into this idea of having an enemy and there always being an enemy out there. We, and when I say we, I mean the US, but I'm sure this is the case across many parts of the world. We've always been told and had bashed into our brains that there is some kind of enemy out there. There is someone or something or some group that is bad, that is evil, that we need to stop and we need to destroy. And while in some cases, I think that that might be possible, we're seeing too many enemies. We're told all of the time, it's bashed into our head, and it comes into our everyday lives that there is an enemy out there, right? And now anything and anyone can be our enemies, and it happens so quickly, right? It can be our family, it can be our friends, it can be our neighbors, it can be anybody who disagrees with us can be an enemy, and often is these days, as we've seen everywhere. Anyone can be a scapegoat for our problems. And I wanted to get a little bit more into this because I've thought about it, and I actually do have enemies myself. I am an anti-war person, I'm an anti-violent person, but I've been thinking about it, and I do have some enemies. And I wanted to talk about some of those today and some of the things that are not my enemies. So to start it off, front and center, because it's super relevant as I record this today, and I think will be relevant for me and very top of mind for years to come, the war machine is my enemy. My enemy is a system that has told me that specific entire countries and the people within them, that they themselves are my enemy, that they're bad, and that they need to be stopped, and told me that entire groups of people are bad. The person telling me that is my enemy. My enemy is the one who tells me that we have to murder children to get our goals accomplished. That tells me and has so many people believing that it is okay to bomb thousands of civilians under the guise of killing a few enemies. My enemy is a system that never looks for a peaceful solution, that only ramps things up, that tells us that we always need to be at war, that there is always an enemy out there. That is my enemy. And going on, it's the one that tells me we need to spend far more on weapons and death and murder and destruction than we do on anything else in our society. And if you watch my previous video, my enemy is the system that allows people to get rich off of all of this, off of all of this killing. That is my enemy. My enemy is also a political system that is incentivized by donations and bribes and corruption, and does not truly speak or fight for the people that they are supposed to represent, but fights for things like war, that fights for corporate power to stay strong. This might not be super relevant to everything on this list, but this is super relevant to me right now. It's a system that tells millions of people that they can't be paid a living wage, that forces more and more people into poverty, into homelessness every day, making people have to make the most dire decisions to be able to live and to have a home. All the while, so many are making billions and billions every day with this wealth gap growing bigger. My enemy is the system that allows all of that to happen and gets worse on a daily basis. Next, I would say the media is my enemy. A media that lies, that manipulates, and convinces us into fighting more with each other than actually telling us the truth of what is going on. A system that gets us to believe what they want and parrot what they want, to hear one thing and turn around and spread false news and spread a narrative that they want us to believe and spread. That system is definitely my enemy. This one might not fit into all of what I'm talking about today, but it's definitely been on my mind lately. And I would say the pharmaceutical and healthcare industry is also my enemy. My enemy is a system who has the means and the abilities and the science to cure many diseases, but chooses to not. That chooses to keep people just so healthy that they need to keep coming back and be on medications, but never really, truly being fully healthy. My enemy is the same system that charges thousands of % markup on medicines that people need to survive when they cost barely anything to make in the desire for profits, charging much, much more than the cost of making a drug just to help shareholders get rich. A system that is so costly in America specifically that people avoid going to the doctor, that avoid going to the emergency room when they're sick or injured because they are scared of how much it will cost. And again, a system in which while all of this is happening, people are getting rich and growing their wealth beyond what I would say is their true means or needs. I would say that. Next up, big tech is my enemy. And this category could go pretty deep, but what's coming to me right now and lately is what I would probably call social media tech, where it is we are on platforms that spread and make money off of hatred, knowingly so, that amplify hatred to make more money, to sell more ads, while at the very same time censoring and silencing true and legitimate dissent or questions or concerns, silencing people that are calling out the terrible things that are happening in the world. That system is also my enemy. Some things that are not my enemy, and I feel like it's crazy to have to say this, but my enemy is not people of color. It's not gay people. It's not trans people. It's not poor people. It's not homeless people. It's not immigrants. I could go on and on. My enemy is the ones and the system who tells me that these people should be my enemy, that these people should somehow be the cause of my problems. It's not those people. It's the people that tell me that I should be somehow against anyone. My enemy is not my neighbor. My enemy is not you if you're watching this, even if you happen to disagree with me. You're not my enemy, and it's likely that we're being told that we need to be enemies because we need to disagree. If you disagree with me, that is fine. You're not my enemy. And I would say to close it out, under all of this, the number one thing that is my enemy is greed. Greed that says we need to take everything we can at the cost of all else and all others. That we need to fight and kill for land and money and power. That there is not enough for all of us. Greed that pushes people to take and take and take, even when they are living well beyond what anyone might need to live in multiple lifetimes. Greed that keeps us just fighting and clawing against each other to buy things, to look and feel like we're ahead of everyone else. And yeah, just a system that keeps us needing more, needing to buy, needing to achieve, and needing to be above everyone else at all costs. Greed, I think, is the cause of everything I have talked about today. And I would say greed is my ultimate enemy. So thank you again for listening, for watching. As always, I am open to and love feedback. If you have any comments on this, whether you want to put it in the comments or contact me directly. Do you agree? Do you have an enemy? Do you think it is right to have a specific enemy or places or anything that you truly consider an enemy? I, with no judgment, would want to hear and have a conversation with you about that. If you happen to enjoy this, you can like this. First time I think I'm saying that, but not only would that help me, but if you do like this, you would get more content like this from the algorithm. So if you feel like doing that, please go ahead. And again, yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Most appreciated if you got this far. Yes, and thank you again. I'll see you next time. Have a good one for now.